Welcome to Current News. I'm your host, Chris Davis. Today we're going to talk about Spider-Man splitting from the MCU. So that's what we're going to talk about today. A lot of people are blaming Sony, and I think they could take some blame for it, but if you look at the financial reports and you do some researching, you really find out that reluctantly, really Disney, Marvel is at fault for the Spider-Man split. So, let me explain real quick. So, in 2015, Sony and Disney Marvel came up with an agreement for Spider-Man to add Tom Holland's Spider-Man into the MCU. So, Sony would fully finance the films, while Marvel and Disney would have Kevin Feige and whoever and another creative producer to serve as a creative director for the films. They would be in charge of the creativity part for it, and how it would work is that Sony would fully finance the films. Disney would get get 5% gross. 5% gross. They would get money from all the merchandising, and then Sony could get all the other profits. Later on. That's how the deal worked. As Spider-Man became more popular in the MCU, and with Spider-Man Far From Home beating out James Bond's Skyfall for box office records, Disney, Marvel executives came back to Sony and said, hey, rather than doing that 5% gross deal and merchandising and you making all the profit, all the other profit, what we want to do is we want to do a 50-50 co-financing, and we want to share the profits 50-50. Now, the reason why Disney is to blame for this is because there were two more Spider-Man films, at least two more Spider-Man films that they had agreed on, and for the original terms, that's how they were supposed to stay for those next two films. But Disney wanted to change the deal for those next two films, and I'm saying that Disney could have at least waited until their contract was up before trying to change the deal. Sony's making all the money back that they produced making Spider-Man. They're getting all the profits back from them fully financing the deal, and Disney or Marvel are saying, hey, that 5% gross and the merchandising isn't enough. Hey, Spider-Man wouldn't be as popular as he is now if it wasn't for us. It wouldn't have the same success it is having now unless it was for us. So we want you to renegotiate our deal so it's 50-50. So 50 into making the film, 50 sharing the profits. And for Sony, multiple reports says that's a bad deal for them because since they fully finance the film, they get whatever profits the film makes. They get that back, and for them to share one of their, if not the most popular IP, one of them are their most popular IPs, with Disney, from a financial perspective, it's a bad deal. Now, as for Disney's side, yes, they played a huge role of revitalizing Spider-Man. Spider-Man in 2002 through 2007 had Sam Raimi directing it, and the first two films were great. The third one did not end so strongly. Then Sony tried to reboot the film 2012 through 2014. Andrew Garfield's Spider-Man was not as well received. That's the best way I can put it. I understand where Sony is coming from, that Disney should like stick to their like financial agreement that they agreed to. Um, but like they have to acknowledge that um, when they brought Tom Holland's Spider-Man into the MCU, they helped Sony and the franchise dramatically. They already gave them like an established platform. They already gave them like the branding and stuff, and like the name recognition, um, which helped like Spider-Man to grow. Plus, like helping with all like the creative stuff to make sure that the films were really great. Having him cross over in different MCU films like Civil War and Infinity War and Endgame. All that like helped boost like the name recognition of Spider-Man. So yes, Disney helped astronomically with the success of Spider-Man. Disney should have stayed with their agreement until like the end of the contract. Then, when the end of the contract is over, then they can try to renegotiate something else. But to do it like towards the end or like in the middle of the contract, it was a bad deal. It looks like Disney is going back like on their agreement. Now, people have been speculating about how is this all going to like work out. Tom Holland's Spider-Man is integrated into the MCU. He looks up to Iron Man. He's supposed to be his successor. There's all these other Avengers. There was the Snap. There's Shield. If Sony like tries to go it alone, I don't think they can reference. They can't reference any of that. So like, would they have to just start over with like a new Spider-Man? I'm not certain. So when I researched this, I looked at other YouTube channels that had information on this. I looked at the Motley Fool, the Business Insider, the original report on Deadline. But yeah, if Tom Holland's pulled out of the MCU, that's going to like even like mess like even with Marvel's story a bit, because then like where did Spider-Man go? And if Sony just tries to do these standalone films, um, how is it going to work? Especially at the end of Spider-Man Far From Home, like huge spoiler warning, like his identity got revealed. So how is Sony going to clean like all of that up? So it is a really weird situation, and I don't think either of them are going to profit from this. I don't think either of them are going to come out of this deal unscathed. It's going to hurt Sony a lot more than Marvel, but from a financial perspective, Disney was like wrong for trying to renegotiate their deal in the middle of their contract. They should have waited till the end. So let me know your thoughts of this story in the comment section below. And who do you side with? Do you side with Sony? Do you side with Disney? I'm kind of siding like with Sony a bit, though I wish they would. Honestly, they would kind of renegotiate with Disney. I'm still siding with Sony because Disney knew better than try to renegotiate in the middle of the contract. They did it because they wanted more of that profit after the latest Spider-Man movie. So to me, like Disney like knew better. So that's why I'm siding with Sony. Let me know who you side with in the comment section below. All right, so for our next story, we're going to talk about GamesCom. So that was going on through this week, and I'm just going to talk about two games that really stood out to me. The Avengers game that's being made by Square Enix and Crystal Dynamics. They showed an almost 20-minute prologue of how the game works. It looks really promising. I like the graphics. I like the story. I like how the characters are played. Um, I like the third person camera and the action in the games. It looks really promising. Um, I'm really interested in like playing that game. I want to play it, and I'm looking forward to playing it. It looks very promising. Another game that I'm interested in is Dragon Ball Z Kakarot. Reason why I'm interested in this game is that it too looks very promising. It too looks like a very good game, and it's been years since I played a actual Dragon Ball Z game. I think the last one I played was Dragon Ball Z Budokai Tenkaichi 3, and that was almost no, that's been a little over a decade ago. So I do want to play that new Dragon Ball Z game, Dragon Ball Z Kakarot. It looks really good. I don't know how far they're going into the story though. Are they going to go all the way up to the Tournament of Power? Because if they do that, that will be really good. I think the farthest I saw is the Android Saga, but I think they're gonna go further than that. If nothing else, they're gonna go at least to the Boo Saga. But I hope they go all the way up to the Tournament of Power. So I'm definitely looking forward to that game. So that's all we have for today. Let me know your thoughts in the comments section below. If you liked what I had to share, hit the like button, hit subscribe, share this video with all your friends, and make sure you go to the description box. I have links to my social media there. You can follow me on social media, and all of you have a great day.